Peace. So, revolution. I want to talk about revolution dealing with the human organism, the person itself, us, the individual, not the revolution that we are discussing, that we hear all the time in different types of conversations centered around white supremacy and overthrowing it, going to war and so on and so forth. Those things are already happening. It's inevitable. I'm sure something of that nature is going to happen. But in the meantime, there is a preparation because, see, the real revolution is internal. You know what I mean? First of all, let's define the word revolution. The word revolution basically is defined as a drastic change, a change taking place in under drastic, extenuating circumstances. In other words, a conflict. You know what I'm saying? A conflict that can't be told in words, as we've been taught, that this will manifest. You understand what I mean? So a conflict is when two hostile opposing forces clash due to different beliefs and so on and so forth. But while that is a reality and an occurrence that is in actual fluidity, the reality is that the true revolution, the drastic change must be done in the human individual. And the human individual must do it in a holistic manner. See, the human organism has adversaries. It's at combat at all times, and combat meaning the personal preservation and wellness of the human organism. And how do you do that? You do that by staying ready. So what I'm talking about right now is the drastic change or the true revolution that takes place in the individuals based on the four main biorhythms. You'll never hear nobody else talk like this, the way I'm discussing this with you. The mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physical. These are the four main biorhythms that make up the human organism. And this is where we have to deal also with the drastic change on this whole component. These four main biorhythms, in order to get to the idea of changing the system, we have to change ourselves first. This is what I mean by the preparation. Our thoughts must change. Our people haven't thought for 500 years. So our thoughts must change. That's mental. That's mental revolution. When you can alter your thoughts or when you awaken or so on and so forth, that's revolution. That's a drastic change that's taking place in you. And when that happens mentally, that affects your emotions. You understand what I'm saying? That affects your spirituality and it affects your physical. You begin to eat better. You begin to exercise and so on and so forth. You begin to deal with meditation and looking for, for that God in you and so on and so forth, raising your spiritual level, raising your physical level, raising your emotional level. You know what I'm saying? Raising your mental level. This is all revolution, real revolution. You understand what I'm saying? In order for us to want to overthrow or change a system, again, we have to change the way we think. You understand what I'm saying? Because again, the human organism has adversaries. There's physical adversaries for the human organisms, which is why it must always be in combat mode, which is why we have the physical applications of combat, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature for self-preservation. But also nutrition is a form of combat for the physical aspect, because not only does good nutrition help the physical body, but it also helps the inner workings in the brain. Your emotions and your mental makeup is enhanced by eating the right foods and so on and so forth. So everything is interconnected. This is all combat. You understand what I mean? Emotional combat. You know what I'm saying? Knowing and understanding that disparity, fear, worry, and things of that nature are illusions, and you must combat against those by keeping a good positive mental output and outlook on things. A good mental perspective. Positive thinking creates a balance also, and it trickles down to the rest of the organism through the biorhythms. You understand? So this is all interrelated. This is real revolution. Again, the real revolution is internal. The real change is right here. The drastic change is yourself. In order to want to be able to fight for freedom and so on and so forth, you must free yourself first. This is all interconnected. You must free your body and yourself from all of the different types of adversaries. Physically, you got people outside who are trying to kill you. You got people who will put their hands on you or try to rob you or steal from you. That's a physical adversary. You know what I'm saying? I already mentioned emotional adversaries, worry, disparity, fear. All of those things are emotional adversaries. Then you got health adversaries. You got other adversaries that affect the body, like the air, GMO food, the water. You got all of these different things going on. You got spiritual adversaries. You understand what I'm saying? You got different types of adversaries affecting the human organism daily. So the human organism must be holistically in combat mode all the time. That's revolution. You understand what I'm saying? So on that note, The revolution can't be televised. Now you understand why. It's internal. Peace.